Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Saturday evening live session where we are going to go deep dive into Cp-Cpk with the help of Minitab. Okay, so let's jump into the topic straight away. What is Cp-Cpk? By the way, how many of you are aware of this subject? Just give me me in the chat box. Just type me in the chat box. Is everybody? Yeah. Am I audible? Can you just type something in the chat so that I can confirm? Yes. Yeah. Can you just type me or yes in the chat box, everybody? Okay, got it. Got it. Super. Process capability index. Very nice. Amazing. Super. So, see, today's topic which we are discussing is about the process capability. So first we'll understand what is process capability and why it is important parameter. Okay, so let me just first cover some of the basic fundamentals before we go deep dive into, the Minitab and stuff like that. So what is process capability? The answer to that is this. Process capability is ability of the process. Maybe you can just make a note of this. I'm talking about process capability. Okay, what is process capability? Ability of the process to satisfy the requirement of the client, of the customer. That is called the process capability. Ability of the process to fit into the requirement of the customer, it's called process capability. Understand this. What is Santosh ji, the correction is it's not UCL and LCL, it is USL and LSL. Correct? So ability of the process to perform within USL and LSL, upper specification and lower specification limit. Are you understanding? For example, I give this example that let's say you are a tea stall vendor and you want to give your cup of tea within a specified temperature limit. Let's say customer asks that I want 80 degrees centigrade. So that becomes the target. So 70 degrees centigrade, I'm just giving you some random numbers. Okay, is lower specification limit, and 90 degrees centigrade is upper specification limit. USL and LSL. These are called specification limits or nothing but customer requirement. Specification limits are nothing but customer requirements converted into the process language. Understand this. Customer will say, मुझे गरम चाय चाहिए. I want a hot, refreshing cup of tea. But process will not understand. Yes, thank you very much, Santosh ji, for the correction. This is very important correction. Okay, are you understanding? So customer will say, I want hot cup of tea. Now, hot meaning it should not be too much hot, which should burn the lips and the mouth. So if it is more than 90 degree, it will be too hot for the customer to, handle or the sip. Or it should not be too cold as well. Below 70 degree, it would be too cold for the customer. I'm just giving you random numbers. Okay. So this limit is called specification limit. This 90 degree to 70 degree, this band. Now, if you start making cup of teas and start delivering, how much are you capable of delivering the cup of tea within 70 and 90 degree? That becomes your process capability. Are you understanding? Your pizza company, which is Domino's, let's say, okay, they have 30 minutes or free. So that 30-minute is the specification limit. Okay, so you have to deliver within 0 to 30 minutes. The moment customer gives you the order, you have to deliver within 0 to 30 minutes. So that's your specification band. If you cross that specification band, that's a loss to the company. Are you understanding? Yes. So specification. So if your ability to deliver that pizza within that 30-minute band is your process capability. Are you clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. Are you clear with this? Just give me a quick yes. So process capability is ability of the process to deliver within the specification limit, which is nothing but customer requirement, customer need. All right. Very, very important. So we need specification limit to identify process capability. And that's what, when we say 6 sigma or 4 sigma or 2 sigma, these are the process capability numbers. 6 is a very high process capability number. 4 is a medium process capability number. 2 is a lower capability number. These are the capability numbers, process capability numbers. Okay. So before 6 sigma, there were few terminologies. Of course, they are being used even today as well. And that is what we are going to study today's topic, which is Cp-Cpk, potential process capability and process capability index. Okay, so before Six Sigma came in 1980s, late 1980s, 1990s onwards. But before that, in the industry, the very first process capability analysis started, and that was. So let me just give you the chronology, I would say, chronology of the process capability. So the very first chronological process capability number, process capability, would be the percentage. Very simple. Percentage rejection. For example, let's say your percentage rejection is, let's say, 5%. That means out of 100, 5 pieces are getting rejected. That means you are 95% capable. So percentage was a very, very first and the foremost process capability number. Okay, at that point in time, when in the newer industrialization era, so it used to be measured in percentage. What is your process capability? How much capable your process? 95%. That means out of 100, 95 are within specification, 5% are going outside of specification. They're rejected. That is called 95% capable. After that, after percentage came ppm. Okay, so this is percentage. The first one is percentage. Then came ppm. What is ppm? Which is called as parts per million. Because what happened was the mass production system started. In early 1920s and 30s onwards, the mass production system. So people start producing not in hundreds and thousands, they started producing in lakhs. Okay, now the number which was percentage has changed into per million. Now when we say parts per million, so per million meaning 10 lakhs, right? So instead of per 100, people started measuring their defect or, what you can say, how much rejection they have. That is what ppm. So ppm also was an indicator of, yes. So lesser the ppm. So ppm was rejected numbers, right? How much rejection? ppm is basically done for how many pieces are rejected per million. So they measure that. So lesser the ppm number, better is your process capability. Are you clear with this point? So percentage ka ho gaya per million. Okay, so lesser that number, better is your parts, better is your process capability. And after that came Cp and Cpk. So the first is Cp, which is potential process capability. So Walter Shewhart basically started this. put across this Cp formula. Who is Walter Shewhart? Anybody knows this gentleman? What he has done? Which tool do we study from Walter Shewhart? Type in chat box if you are aware of it. कौन सा टूल वॉल्टर शिवार्ट का हम लोग सीखते हैं इन लीन सिक्स सिग्मा? Critical path method. Okay, still it's a kind of a part of project management, but there is another very important tool which we learn. How many of you remember? Anybody? Yes, how many of you remember statistical process control charts? Plus and minus 3 standard deviation. If the process is basically running between plus and minus 3 standard deviation, it's said to be a stable process. The stability control chart was basically done by Walter Shewhart. Remember this. Okay. Anyways, coming back to according to Shewhart. So yeah. So according to Shewhart, what he said, he first defined potential process capability. What is potential process capability? The formula, which is also called as Cp, the formula is USL minus LSL divided by 6 times standard deviation. USL minus LSL divided by 6 times standard deviation. Okay. So, for example, let's take the same example of our temperature of cup, right? Let's say 70 degree. This is 80 degree target and this is 90 degree. Okay. Now imagine if the process is like this. Okay. Now this is 90 degree. Correct. And imagine standard deviation here is okay. So standard deviation here is 5. Okay. So can you calculate Cp in this case? This is LSL and this is USL. Just type in the chat box the number of Cp. I've given you the formula, I've given you the numbers. The same chai ka cup wala example. Temperature of tea. 90 is USL, 70 is LSL. And we have taken 30 data points. We all know that minimum data points we should take is 3030 to get any kind of what you can say, statistical calculation. 0.66. Everybody got this? So the Cp is, so how it is, 90 minus 70, which is USL minus LSL divided by 6 into 5. 6 into standard deviation, right? So it is 20 divided by 30, which is 0.66. Perfect. So this is called Cp. Are you understanding? Which is potential process capability. Okay. Now, let's understand. Let me give you. So, after some time, okay, so this is one day they calculate this Cp. Okay. After some time, the new person came, that the tea stall vendor went to his native place and he replaced that with his, let's say, cousin. Okay, his cousin was also there and he just told him, can you just what you can say, run my shop, right, my tea stall for maybe a week's time. So the cousin said, okay, I don't have any work to do, so I can definitely do that. Okay, so cousin started running his tea stall. So When he started running, we collected some data and we found that cousin was delivering the tea in the lower temperature range. So थोड़ा सा ठंडा चाय दे रहा था. He was not conscious of this. Okay. So when we collected the data, understand this. So the data was looking like this. So majority of the data was actually going outside of the specific. But see, the spread is equal. Huh? Let's say the spread of the earlier data was this much. It has completely shifted. That means it is called the mean shift. Let's say earlier x bar was at x bar meaning mean, right? So earlier x bar was at 80. Now the x bar has shifted maybe towards 65. Are you understanding? How many of you got it? With the same standard deviation, same spread, the complete process has shifted the mean from 80 degree to 65 degree. So on an average, he started delivering the cup of tea at 65 degree. Have you understood the scenario? The original tea stall vendor went to his native for a week, and now a new guy came and he started delivering some thanda chai. Correct? So standard deviation is changed, but X bar has moved, right? Now, standard deviation is same, which is 5. Specification limits are same. What will happen to CP? Potential process capability. What will happen to potential process capability? Type in the chat box. Can you calculate the potential process capability CP again? With this new process which has been deviated, from the center. Can you calculate the CP once again with the new scenario? Same standard deviation. Just calculate once again. Exactly. Fantastic. Arvind ji. Fantastic, Santosh ji. Everybody, 1.25 कैसे आया? Put the same numbers in the formula. USL remains same, 90 degree. LSL remains same, 70 degree. Divided by 6 times standard deviation. 6 into standard deviation is same. That's what we said. The same variation process has shifted on one side. Process variation has not changed. Understand this? Correct? Exactly. So because everything remains same, CP is 0.66 only. Now understand this. But the first process was more capable. Second process is less capable because all this data which is I have just drawn in shaded has been a rejected area, right? Because it is lower than lower specification. Yes or no? So the process capability is lower in the second case. Yes or no? Everybody got this? Just type yes in the chat box. Have you understood the scenario? Anybody has any difficulty in understanding this? Then only we can move forward. If you have understood this scenario, then only we can move forward. Yes, very good, very good. I will explain once again. Anybody has any difficulty? Thanks, Dr. Lavina. I'll explain. Okay, understood. Baki log, very good. Now try to understand this. See, standard deviation is what representation of the spread of the data, na? Correct? The spread. How much spreaded the data is. Correct? Now, sometimes that the earlier person, let's say scenario number 1, sometimes the person is giving 70 degrees, sometimes giving 90 degrees, sometime in between. Okay, so that range of the variation is similar. But this guy, the second guy, started, now he's also giving the range of 20, but he has started giving between, let's say, 55 to 75. Understand this? So his range is 55 to 75. I'm just giving you one raw example. So the same variation, but the average has completely shifted. The first guy was delivering the tea at the average of 80. Second guy has started delivering the tea at the average of 65 degree. Okay, yes, the mean shift, exactly, Santoshi. Yes, Dr. Lavin, are you understanding? But the range, the variation, the standard deviation is same. Correct? जितना यहाँ पे था उतना ही है. वो भी 20 डिग्री का वेरिएशन दे रहा है, ये भी 20 डिग्री का वेरिएशन दे रहा है, right? But the mean has shifted. but our Cp value is same. What does it indicate? It indicates that the value of Cp, the formula of Cp, is not capable of detecting the shift in the mean. If your mean shifts from the center, your Cp formula is not capable of identifying that. It is giving the same value. How many of you understood this? Just type yes in the chat box. Correct? Are you clear? Everybody clear now? So Cp formula is not capturing that shift in the mean. So what does Cp do then? Cp says it is the potential of the process. ये प्रोसेस का पोटेंशियल है. This is what you can achieve maximum. Cp is the potential process capability. Are you understanding this? Okay. So it does not take mean shift into consideration. So then after that, what statisticians did, statisticians, came out with another formula, which is called as process capability index. In that particular formula, let me just draw that quickly. So the next modified version was process capability index. Make a note of this. From Cp, they move to Cpk. So index is called as Cpk. What is Cpk? Process capability index. Now the formula is, so they calculate process capability in two ways. One is lower side process capability, other one is higher side process capability. When the process shifts from one end to another. So imagine, understand this. Imagine you are driving in a tunnel with your car. If your car drifts on one side, there is a potential of brushing the car on one side wall of the tunnel. Are you understanding? If your car drifts on the other side, there is a potential of making defect on this side. Are you understanding? The same scenario, the same fundamental applies. If the process shifts on one side, it will start making defect on that side. If the process shifts on the other specification limit, it will start making process on that side. Okay. So we will calculate the process capability both side, lower side as well as upper side separately. And whichever process capability is lower, wherever you are making more defects, that is your actual process capability. Understand this? Okay. So let's check the formula. So Cpk. So there are two formulas basically. Cpk upper in bracket. So you can write Cpk upper. The formula is USL minus X bar divided by 3 standard deviation. And there is another one is Cpk lower. The formula is X bar minus LSL divided by 3 standard deviation, 3 sigma. And whichever is lower in these two values, that becomes your actual Cpk, process capability index. Are you understanding this? Just give me yes. Just make a note of this. We will take a practical case, the same example we will take, and we'll calculate now. Yes, everybody? Have you taken down this? Okay. Now can we take, okay, can we take now this particular incident, the second scenario, into Cpk value? And now we will calculate what is our Cpk. Okay, chalo. Can we just calculate our Cpk? So Cpk USL क्या है? USL is 90 minus X bar. Okay, so in that case, our X bar was 65. So can you just type 65 there? So USL is 90 minus 65 divided by 3 times standard deviation. So standard deviation is 5. Let's keep it 5. Can you calculate Cpk upper? What is that? 1.66. Very good. 1.66. Now calculate CPK lower. Calculate CPK lower. X bar is 65 minus 70 because LSL is 70. तो न्यूमरेटर आएगा -5. सो आपका CPK लोअर माइनस आएगा, निगेटिव आएगा. Yes, divided by 3 times standard deviation, which is 50. So -5 divided by 50. What is the value? Which is minus 0.33, is it? Yeah, -5 divided by 50. Minus 0.33. Now, which value is lesser? So let me write here. CPK upper is CPK upper है 1.66 and CPK lower है -0.33. Obviously, -0.33 is lower number. So my current process capability is negative 0.33. Not even positive, it is negative. Why? Because my process has gone completely outside of the specification limit. That's why it is negative. See, the mean has even crossed the lower specification limit. That's why it's coming negative. Are you clear with this? Just give me yes in the chat box. Are you clear? Everybody got this? So this is called process capability index calculation. Clear hai? Okay. Let me share some important. So it's not proper exactly. So it's not proper CPK. So this process is not capable process. Okay. This particular process is not capable at all. Correct. So what we see, when the process is not capable, what happens? You will start getting customer complaint. Try to understand this. Whenever process is not capable, you will start getting customer complaint. The original owner of the tea stall vendor, that vendor would have received the calls. अरे भैया किधर हो, आपका चाय का टेम्परेचर इतना कम होते जा रहा है, वो ठंडा चाय पिला रहा है. Where are you? Customer complaints will start to come. So whenever your process capability drops, your rejection numbers, internal failure and your external failures goes high. And that's the dangerous sign. That's why we are actually calculating process capability. Is my process capable to deliver a specification? If no, instantaneously I will start getting complaints, either internal complaints or external. Are you understanding? Yes, just type yes in the chat box. Yes, Kiranji, fantastic question. I'm coming to that. There is a relationship between sigma and Cp-Cpk. यहां तक क्लियर है? पहले Cp-Cpk कंप्लीट कंफर्म करें तो मिनिटैब एक्सरसाइज करेंगे, देन आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू व्हाट इज द रिलेशनशिप. क्लियर है यहां तक एवरीबॉडी? यस. सो दैट टी स्टॉल वेंडर, उसके नेटिव में कॉल गया होगा कि बॉस आपका योर क्वालिटी हैज डिटेरियोरेटेड, वेयर आर यू? ओके, पीपल आर कंप्लेनिंग अबाउट योर टी. ओके, सो द CPK number has dropped down to negative. So, right, so you have to bring the process again in the center to make sure that you are delivering it properly. Okay, now let's do a Minitab exercise about this. Okay, yes, Minitab exercise. Yeah, let me show you some this one. Okay, then we will do the Minitab exercise. All right. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Now, whenever we have too much variation, right? So all this is rejection, correct? This is LSL and this is USL, right? So this is huge rejection. Now, when we have moderate variation, we have less rejection. Okay, and when we have very little variation, we have as good as 6 sigma level of performance, where the variation will be very less. Now, this process, if it shifts like this, it will start making the variation. Okay, now So are you clear with these three diagrams? Too much variation, moderate variation, and very little variation. Yes. Have you understood this diagram? Correct? So quality is the definition of quality in Six Sigma is, so quality equals hitting the target, write this down, plus reducing the variation. So you have to hit the target, hit the center every time, okay, and bring the variation down. Bring the variation to the very close, very in the center. So hitting the target is also important and reducing variation is also important. Only hitting the target. Now, for example, look at this. Okay. Now, this first process, it is actually hitting the target. It is the center, but the variation is very high. Okay. And on the other side, let's say, if we have a process like this, okay, it is the variation is very low, but it is not hitting the target. Target is here and the process is basically outside of the specification. So hitting the target as well as reducing the variation, both are important aspect, and that's what is taken care by CPK. Okay, so CP basically talks about, CP formula is potential, and CPK you can say is actual, what you are delivering. CP is potential, what you can achieve, and CP is actual. For example, in a cricket match, how many runs you can score maximum, provided there is no ball and the wide ball. How many runs you can score? Type in the chat box. I'll just give you this analogy, you will understand very easily. How many runs you can make in 1 over in cricket match? Type in the chat box. Simple. 36 runs. Yes or no? Correct? 6 sixes. You can hit 6 sixes and make 36. So this is called potential. This is the maximum you can do. And let's say actually you made 15 runs. That is your actual CPK. So 36 is potential and actual you have made 15. That is your CPK. Yeah, if no ball, that's what I said. The disclaimer is no balls, no extra delivery. 6 legal deliveries, you can make 36 runs maximum, correct? Even if you hit the ball outside of the stadium also, you will get 6 runs only. Okay. So CP is the potential what you can achieve and CPK is actual. So both we calculate. Okay. Now let me show you uh, a diagram which will give you a little bit of more clarity about this. Look at this. थोड़ा blur है, but try to understand this. Okay. Just try to understand this. Whenever, okay, yes, this is USL, LSL, okay. Look at this. Whenever the process is in the center, make a note of this. Whenever the process is exactly in the center, CP is equal to CPK. Write this down. Whenever the process is exactly in the center, when your average, center meaning when your mean is hitting the target, when your mean average X bar is hitting the target, your CP equals your CPK. Okay. Have you understood this statement? Whenever the process is in the center, your CP equals your CPK. For example, look at this. Okay. In this case, the CP is 2 and Cpk is also 2 because both are hitting the target. This is this blue line is the target, the center line. So X bar and target is the same thing. In our case, this is 90 degree. Imagine this is 90 degree centigrade and this is 70 degree centigrade and target is 80 degree centigrade. Okay. Now, if the spread increases, the sigma increases, okay, your process capability decreases. So from 2, it has dropped down to 1.33. Okay. Now, when the mean has shifted, this is mean, no? This is mean. Okay. Cp value is same. That's what we have seen in the last example. Even though the process is shifting, the Cp value remains same, yes or no? Everybody just give me yes or no in the chat box. Just look at this diagram. Okay. This is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. Look at these 3 diagrams. Okay. All of them are having the same standard deviation. तीनों का भी spread same ही है, देखिए आप. Can you see the spread is exactly same? Okay. Only thing is that the process is drifting. Only the mean is shifting towards the upper specification. Okay. Now, in this case, let's say the another person has come and he has started giving even hot cup of tea. So process has started shifting. In that case, Cp is 2 only. Cp remains the same. Cp does not change. Only as the drift has increased, Cpk was 2, has moved to 1, and now it has become 0. If it goes even further, like this, it will become, Cpk will become negative. Like we have seen, negative 0.33. How many of you understood this? Just give me yes in the chat box. Conceptually understood. Formula I've already given, Cp ka formula already given, Cpk ka formula already given. Correct? Yes. So our role is to bring the process down to the center and bring the variation down. Okay. Now, while we are here, let me tell you what is the relationship between Cp and, see again, Cp is the highest potential. We cannot, Cpk can reach up to Cp, but it cannot exceed Cp. I repeat again. Cpk can become Cp, but it cannot exceed Cp. Okay, for example, you can make 36 runs, but you cannot exceed 36 runs because that's the potential. Correct. Are you understanding? So our role, why we check. Now, if you have heard of Cp, you would have heard of Cp-Cpk. You will never heard Cp separately, Cpk separately. Right? Today's topic, what is the today's topic? Cp-Cpk with Minitab. Why I have kept both together? Because we calculate both. Cp is the potential and Cpk is actual. Our target is to bring the Cpk to Cp. That is our target. Got it, everybody? Just type yes in the chat box. Yes? So Cp is the potential and Cpk is the actual. Our target is to bring Cpk to Cp and match it. And when it will match, when Cp will match Cpk, type in the chat box. When X bar equals the target center, when my average equals the target, when my variation is less, then my Cp is equal to Cpk. Clear, everybody? Just give me yes. Yes. So when my mean and my target are exactly same, my Cp equals my Cpk. Rather, I would say Cpk equals my Cp. Okay. Got it? Conceptually got it? Now, along with that, we will do a practical case example in the Minitab shortly. What is the relationship between Cpk Cp-Cpk and sigma, the relationship is this. Okay, write this down. So Cp-Cpk और sigma का क्या relation है? Right? So relation is this. If your Cp-Cpk value, let's say Cpk value, I would say, is 0.33, that is nothing but a 1 sigma process. If it is 0.66, it is 2 sigma process. If it is 1, then it is a 3 sigma process. When it is 1.33, it is 4 sigma process. When it is 1.66, it is 5 sigma process. When my CPK value becomes 2, it is a 6 sigma process, and so on and so forth. If it is 2.33, it is 7 sigma, 2.66, 8 sigma, 3, it becomes 9 sigma. So CP sigma number is 3 times of a CPK number. Sigma number is 3 times of a CPK number. Clear? So here you can see over here, this particular process is a 6 sigma process because the CPK value is 2. This particular process is 1.4 sigma process because the CPK value is 1.33. This particular process, this one, second one, okay? This one. So this is first one is a 6 sigma process. Second one is, how much sigma process is second one? Second one, type in the chat box. How much sigma process is this? Yes, 3 sigma process, because CPK is 1, it is 3 sigma process. And how much this one, let's say process number 4, how much sigma process is this? 1.33 is 4 sigma process. Clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. When CPK is 0, CPK 0 होने के बाद कितना होगा सिग्मा? 0 सिग्मा प्रोसेस. हाँ, सीपीके हमें देखना है एक्चुअल. ओके, when your child goes for an examination, 100 mark is a CP, and your child scores 80 out of it, so 80 is CPK. Correct? So 100 is the CP. So 100 your child can score, but out of which actually CPK, which is 80 marks. So 80 becomes CPK. So our target is to bring that 80 to 100. That is our target. Same like this. CP is the potential and CPK is my current process capability, right? So my target is, yeah, when CPK is negative, that means lot of rejection will come. That means it has already started going outside of specification limit, huge rejections. Are you understanding? Yes? Correct? And immediately you will get more rejection, more customer complaint. That's the time you have to immediately take. See, internal defects are the indicator of external defects. Understand this? Internal defects, when it will go up, then only external defects will increase, or rejection, the customer complaints will come. So internal rejections are the indicator of external rejection. So you have to immediately take actions. Okay. See, that's why the short-term process capabilities are very, very important. Okay. Clear? So similarly, there is something called a PPK, PPPPK. The same formula is there. So CP-Cpk is for the short term and PPPPK is for the long term. Long term meaning we take more data points for a longer duration of time. Okay. This is the potential for the future. This is the potential for the population. Cp-Cpk is for the sample and PPPPK is for the population. Write this down. Sample population, everybody knows, correct? Sample is a small representation of the population. Like I always say, SNG has 10,000 students. So let's say we have 100 people in the room. That is a sample of the complete population, correct? So let's say average height of current 100 students will be representative of the 10,000 students, correct? Similarly, we take a small sample and we calculate Cp-Cpk out of it. And from the Cp-Cpk, we can see Pp-Ppk is a long-term process capability. Customer is interested in your long-term process capability because short-term is what? 1 hour, 1 shift, 1 day. That is a short-term process capability. But over the longer duration of time, how much your process is behaving, that is where customer is more interested in. So Pp-Ppk is a long-term, Cp-Cpk the short-term. इतना सिर्फ ध्यान में रखिए. ठीक है? So shall we do one exercise on Minitab? The people who have Minitab, you can just do this exercise along with me. And if you don't have Minitab, just observe right now whatever we are doing. Okay, the same chocolate weight का standard sheet है जो कि I'm just sharing with you. If you don't have, so just observe this. If you're traveling, not in a position, once you opened it, let me know. Yes, once you opened it, please let me know. Meanwhile, let me explain this. So we have chocolate weights here. Okay. So there are, I think, 120 chocolate weights we have. And now we want to calculate the process capability of this Cp-Cpk of this. Okay. How do we calculate that? So for that, to calculate Cp-Cpk, what do we need? First, we need the data from the process. What is the second requirement? Type in the chat box. So first is the data. We need the data from the process to calculate process capability. What else do we need? Type in the chat box. Everybody? So एक है data, correct? What else do we need to calculate process capability? Which is Cp-Cpk, let's say. See, when we have data, we can calculate standard deviation very easily, right? So data meaning standard deviation, mean वगैरह सब आ गया. What else we need apart from that? Very good, very good. Correct. Super. So apart from that, we need specification limit, customer requirement. What is specification limit? How much customer will accept? So between 70 to 90 degree, customer will accept the tea, otherwise customer will reject. Either it will be too hot or too cold, right? So we need specification limit. So here we have specification limit like this. LSL is, let's say, just a second. So here the target was, let's say, 42 grams. There is a chocolate weight. And let's say upper specification limit is 48 grams. And lower specification limit is 36 grams. Okay. 36 grams. So customer will accept the chocolate within 48 to 36 grams. All right. So the specification limit is 48 upper and 36 lower, right? So let's do this. In the Minitab, you can go to Stat, Quality Tools, Capability Analysis, Normal. Stat, Quality Tools, Capability Analysis, Normal. What is normal? Normal meaning it is normally distributed data. Okay. So before that, we basically check whether it is normally distributed. कैसे check करते हैं? Okay, just before that, let me just show you quickly. We can show that with normality test. Okay, when we click on normality test, where do we find normality test? Stat, basic statistics, normality test. Whether the data is normally distributed or not. How do we find out? Stat, basic statistics, normality test. Once you click on that, just put chocolate weight into variable and click on OK. You will see the p-value here. So the p-value is 0.256. If the p-value is greater than 0.05, it is normal distributed. That's why we have selected normal. Okay. Yes, very good, Santoshi. Super. So this is the p-value. कैसे किया हम लोगों ने? Stat, basic statistics, normality test. Remember this sequence. Okay. Stat, basic statistics, normality test. Okay. If the data is non-normal, then we have some other procedures. But let's not divert to that. It is a big science again. So we'll come back to our process capability. So go to Stat, Quality Tools, Capability Analysis, Normal. Just select that, Normal. Now put your सिंगल कॉलम में चॉकलेट वेट डालना है आपको. सब ग्रुप साइज 1, लोअर स्पेसिफिकेशन 36, अपर स्पेसिफिकेशन 48, which we have discussed. Okay, once you put that, just click on OK. All right, I just go back once again, go to Stat, Quality Tools, Capability Analysis, Normal. Okay, follow this. Click on Normal. सिंगल कॉलम में चॉकलेट वेट को क्लिक करो. सब ग्रुप साइज में 1 सिलेक्ट करो. लोअर 1 मीनिंग वी आर इंडिविजुअली टेकिंग द सैंपल्स. ओके, लोअर स्पेसिफिकेशन इज 36 grams as we have seen. Upper specification is 48 grams, and just click on OK. Wow. So you can see here, you have got the formula you've got here. So CPK lower is 1.39, CPK upper is 1.34. So what is the lowest value in these two is CPK upper, right? That's why it is called CPK 1.34. So 1.34 meaning it is very close to 4 sigma process. Are you clear? Everybody got this? Just give me yes in the chat box. क्लियर है? वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड, सुपर. Yes, it is 3 times CPK value, which is, let's say 1.33 multiplied by 3 becomes 4 sigma process. So this process is a 4 sigma process right now. So we have to further improve that. Bring it to 5 sigma process, 6 sigma process. That is how we should basically target. Clear? So this is what Cp-Cpk is all about. Subgroup is what? It is a sampling strategy. Subgroup meaning sometimes we, let's say, imagine there is a conveyor, okay, and the chocolates are being made. Let's say these are the chocolates, okay. Now you are a quality person. Now you are a quality person and you check 1 chocolate at a time. That means subgroup is 1. If instead of 1 you are taking 5 chocolates at a time for testing, so 5 at a time, that's your sampling strategy. Every 1 hour you take 5 samples. That is called subgroup 5. Clear? When you're taking only 1, that is called subgroup 1. Everybody clear with this? Just give me yes. So it's a sample. How much is the quantity of sample? Group of sample. Okay. Every time subgroup will change based on the sample. So that is what you need to decide. Okay. Subgroup invalid block you are saying. Okay, let me just go back. So if I go back here, so subgroup size may we are putting 1. Can you just put 1 there and just click on OK. Yeah, just remove whatever you have put. Just put 1 there and just click on OK. It will take. Yes, everybody got this? Yes. So can you calculate your own CPK value, Cp-Cpk value with your own data? या अरविंद जी गॉट दिस? आगे आपको सब ग्रुप का इश्यू सॉल्व हो गया? Yes. Now, can you just take your own data and calculate your Cp-Cpk value? That's it. What is the, yeah, good, good, good. That is your homework. Okay. Now you may not have the data, but you have got your own process data. Put your specification and calculate your current process capability, Cp-Cpk. Okay. Can we take subgroup of two? हाँ, आप देख लो, सब ग्रुप ऑफ टू देख लो करके क्या होगा. Let's take subgroup of two. Okay, not much difference it is making. If you take two subgroup, that means वो क्या करेगा, पहले दो चॉकलेट को एक ग्रुप बनाएगा, दूसरे दो चॉकलेट का दूसरा ग्रुप. इस प्रकार से सॉफ्टवेयर will calculate. What is overall and within? That's fantastic. That's amazing. Now, for example, understand this. What is overall and what is within? Okay. If you go back to the data, let's go back to the data. If you see here, first column I have chocolate weight, right? Second column is sample. Sample 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So first 10 chocolate is they have taken as a subgroup. Okay. For our calculation, we have separately calculated for individual data. But here, now for example, so they have taken 10 chocolate at a time. Okay. So similarly, they have taken 10, 10, 10, 10. Okay. So if I draw this, let's say this is first sample. Let's say this is second sample, third sample, fourth sample. I'm just randomly drawing this. Okay. Fifth sample, sixth sample. So every sample they have taken there. So every sample may be variation hoga. Correct? So sample to sample variation is called within. So within that sample also there will be variation. Na? Small sample में भी variation है. 10 chocolates है ना, उसके weight में भी variation है, right? So that variation is called as within variation. And if I add all the 120 samples, so this is called overall variation. Are you understanding? If I mix all the 120 chocolates together and treat it as one unit, one sample size of 120, then that is overall variation. Okay. So there is one standard deviation which is within. So within 1, within 2, within 3, within 4. Okay. If I take average of all the within, that is called within standard deviation. And if I add all the 120 and calculate standard deviation, that is called overall. Are you clear? Just type yes in the chat box. So why are there different groups? 1 to 12. Yes, 1 to 12. So they have, that's their sampling set. That's the data we have. Okay. So they have the sampling strategy of 10 chocolates को लेना है और उसका weight calculate करना है. Okay. In that case, you can take that subgroup sampling. Clear? Everybody clear? Within and overall का difference. Overall is all 120 chocolates together, and within is within that 10 के chocolates का variation. Yes. Very good. Very good. Chalo. So the homework for you guys is collect your own data and calculate your Cp-Cpk. If possible, share that, take the screenshot and share that with, in our community, or share to the mentor, our mentor number, right? I believe everybody knows the mentor number. Okay. So if you want to have that calculation checked, please send your screenshot on the mentor's number and we will give our feedback. If anything is missing, anything, that I checked for 12 subgroup. Here is the result. Yes, please bring that out. Is there any huge difference? Yeah, what is the result? Okay, so that there is a slight change from 1.34, the CPK has changed to 1.20, right? So that means the process capability is slightly shifted over there. See, try to understand this. Try to understand this. Exactly. That means now your process capability is a little less. Okay. Because I tell you why it is happening. Very good. So what Santoshji has done, Santoshji has subgroup sample size he has taken 10. Okay, so let's do this quickly. Experiment करके देखते हैं, हमें experiment करते रहना चाहिए. Okay, so here instead of this we are taking sample as a subgroup and let's say okay. Now here my CPK has suddenly changed. Let's say let me put both the graphs alongside with each other. Okay, हाँ, तो ये है 1.3 वाला ग्राफ एंड ये है CPK 1. उप्स, इधर गया. सो ये है 1.2 वाला ग्राफ which is I have just plotted and this one is the first one 1.34. Okay, let's put both these graphs alongside each other. Look at this. The first graph says हाँ, उसको 10 ले लीजिए because the subgroup size is actually 10. Okay, so here when we are using the overall process capability, okay, so it was showing 1.34, okay, or 1.36. So let's talk about 4 sigma. When we take samples separately, like so here what we have done is ये वही है क्या? No, I think कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. इसको बंद करते हैं. This is where we have taken the separate samples. तो 10 के चॉकलेट्स का सैंपल लिया तो हमारा CPK है 1.2. Okay, now let's make it a little different. Instead of sample, when we are making 1 and saying okay, I am getting 1.34. Okay, look at this. See the difference, huh? So when I'm taking 10 samples, 10 samples, okay, so you can see here my process capability is a little lower because my sample to sample variation is impacting my process capability. Are you understanding? Sample to sample का भी variation है ना, that is also impacting my process capability. Vis-a-vis when I am adding all the data points, okay, my overall process capability is a little better. If I consider all the 120 sample, okay, my overall process capability, which is my CPK value, considering all 120 together, is a little better than this one. Why it could be? Because some of the sample, let's say for example, might be a little wavered. For example, some of the sample might be a little, on this side, some of the sample might be on this side. So the variation, sample to sample variation can be very high. Are you understanding? That's why when I'm taking samples 10 chocolates, my process capability number is a little lower compared to if I take all the chocolates together and bring the process capability. My process capability a little higher. 1.2 है, यहाँ पे 1.3 है, उतना ही फर्क है. Clear है? Yes? So there might be sample to sample variation can be a little high. That's the only difference for this. Yes, Santoshi, got your answer? Yes. So it is sample to sample variation is playing the role here. That's the only difference between these two values. Everybody got this answer, right? So first case mein, we have taken all the separate sample, 10 separate samples separately. So CPK value is 1.2. And on the right hand side, we have taken all 120 chocolates together. Our CPK is a little better. Okay. Yeah, that's the only difference. Super. So this is all about Cp-Cpk. The homework is you collect your own data and calculate your Cp-Cpk. Yeah, your data set has little variation of 10 taken. So yes, because it is showing that way, na? 1 1 1 1 in 10 के 12 sets है उसमें, उस data set, इसलिए. Super. So the next part is you do it yourself and then share it with us. Okay? Ha, exactly. और भी उसमें कुछ फैक्टर्स होते हैं which right now we will discuss that in some advanced discussion. Okay, yeah. Clear? Any question on this? Please let me know in the chat. Just put that in the chat. Any question if you have, please let me know. Ha, yes, Santoshi. You want to just ask the question? Can you just unmute and speak? That is also okay. If you can.
Yeah, sir.
Ha,
Thank you, sir. It was a great session. Thank you so
yeah.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. But my question is, these groups are there. So there are 12 groups now. So
Correct.
12 groups means 10 people has taken the readings, if I'm not wrong. 10 people has
Ha,
taken.
10 people have taken reading or one person has taken 10 readings, over the period of
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
So when we are doing this, uh, we can have when we do in the real life. So we have to take only one subgroup as a size, or a subgroup size should be changed. Which is the best way?
No, the best way is what you are doing. What is your sampling strategy? If your sampling strategy is 10 chocolate at a time, you do your process capability with 10 chocolate at a time. Okay.
Okay.
If your sampling strategy is one chocolate at a time, you keep that subgroup size as one. Okay. So that is what your actual process capability.
So that means, for example, I just want to ask one real-time question. For example, I am checking the thickness of the film in one shift. I'm checking 2 times, day shift and night shift, thickness of the plastic film. So
Okay.
I should take every shift is having 100 samples. Day shift is 100 sample, night shift is 100 sample. So I should mention when I'm calculating, I should keep subgroup size as one, or how much I should be.
So now let's say, for example, if you want to calculate your process capability of the shift, okay,
Yeah.
so you keep that subgroup size as one, because whatever chocolate, whatever the samples you have taken, they're separate samples from each other, right? Thickness, 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 thickness. Various times on various times you have taken the thickness of the product, right?
Yeah.
So every time it's a single reading you have taken. So subgroup size is one. See, what is subgroup? When you are taking, when you take the reading, if you're taking reading, let's say 3 times, at that point in time, if you're taking 3 readings of thickness, that means your subgroup size is 3. Are you getting my point?
Yeah. So if I take reading 3 times, so the subgroup size is 3.
No, if you're taking thickness reading 3 times separately, let's say in the beginning of the shift, you have taken the thickness reading. In the middle of the shift, you have taken thickness. So that is subgroup size 1 only.
Okay.
Are you getting my point?
So so when will be the subgroup size will be 3?
Yeah, when you are taking, let's say in the beginning of the shift, you are taking 3 locations, let's say. Okay, there are 3 multiple locations on the film. You are taking 3 multiple locations reading. That is subgroup size 3.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Got a point?
Yeah.
At the one instant itself, you are taking multiple readings. That is called subgroup size 3. If you are taking, let's say, one reading in the beginning, after 2 hours, one reading, after 3 hours, one reading, that is subgroup size 1 only.
Okay.
Only one reading you are taking.
So for day shift and night shift, both the shift, I have to mention only one.
So if you're taking shift wise process capability,
shift wise. Yeah, shift wise.
Yes, just consider one only. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Fantastic. Clear, everybody?
Sir, can it be based on criticality also? The things which are more critical, we take sample wise. If it is not less critical, we can take a group wise so that it can be subgroup.
Yeah, that's what I said there, Devesji, that it completely depends on your sampling strategy. Okay. What your quality procedure says, we just have to follow the same thing. Okay. If your quality procedure says take one sample at a time, your process subgroup size is 1. If you're taking multiple samples, then your subgroup size, is multiple according to the sampling strategy. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Clear? Yes. Any other question? If no, then we can just close the session. We have a subsequent session for the business launch program. If you are interested in launching your own business, you can join that session. The link has been disclosed, distributed to you as well. You can join that session. Today, we are going to discuss how you can decide the pricing of the proposal. Yeah. Yes, Dr. Lavina, please go ahead. You can just unmute yourself. Just a second. Let me just see if you can unmute. Yeah, can you just try to unmute yourself and speak? Is the level of significance and normal the same? Level of significance and normal the same? I did not understand the question. Level of significance and normal. Level of significance is basically what we check, that p-value we check, na? 0.05, not 0.005, 0.05, 5%. Okay. If so, the normality test, okay, that normality test is also a hypothesis test. What we check there is if the data is normally distributed, okay, we set our level of significance at 5%. If the p-value, now how do we calculate the p-value? There is a formula behind it, okay. When that calculated p-value goes above that 5% level, then we say that, okay, the data is normally distributed. If it is lower than 0.05, which is 5%, so we say this is non-normal. Okay, so this is also hypothesis testing, normality test. Okay, it is 0.05. So level of significance is generally set at 0.05. Okay. Because our confidence level is generally set at 95%. That's why level of significance is set at 5%. Level of significance is nothing but where we are not confident, where we can make defects, where the process can go out of specification. That is where level of significance is. Significant, you know. See, when it is going outside, that is significant. That's where we are making losses, right? That is why it is called significance. So that our focus should go there. It's a significant factor. Consider that. Okay. Very good. Very good. Good question, by the way. Super. Thank you very much for joining in. Now let's connect. If you are interested, let's connect to the next session, which is subsequently starting now. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Take care. This recording will be available. You can go through that and do your homework and share your